Buddy, is that what we do?
Forever, yes. It's a one-time mute deal today. Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Tuesday Zen Bitch Slap meeting. This is not an AA meeting. And I guess we're doing random readings out of the book, and this is Paul H's take on and combined experience of 38 years on the big book and what's in it. And participation is welcomed. This is being taped on YouTube and recorded. So we'll get started here. I didn't have a reading, but I will find one, page 50. How's that?
That was fast, yeah. 50?
All right, page 50, bottom of the page. Here are thousands of men and women, worldly indeed. They flatly declare that since they have come to believe in a power greater than themselves, to take a certain attitude toward that power, and to do certain simple things, there's been a revolutionary change in their way of living and thinking. In the face of collapse and despair, in the face of the total failure of their human resources, they found that a new power of peace, happiness, and sense of direction flowed into them. This happened soon after they wholeheartedly met a few simple requirements. Once confused and baffled by the seeming futility of existence, they showed the underlying reasons why they were making a heavy going of life. Leaving aside the drink question, they tell why living was so unsatisfactory. They show how the change came over them when many hundreds of people are able to say that the consciousness of the presence of God is today the most important fact of their lives. They present a powerful reason why one should have faith. And how's that for a reading?
Great. And also, anyone has any question now, before we jump in, I just want the basic theme of these talks are rooted in page 64 of the book, around the third paragraph, when they're in the act of doing and describing the inventory. And they have a statement, which if you're familiar with AA, you know, being convinced is an important statement in the book. It's sort of like an important requirement in a way. So it says, being convinced self manifested in various ways is what has defeated us. They believed that if you read the whole paragraph, it's by starting the inventory process that you are convinced of this. Yeah, because it just talks about the inventory process, then says, well, while seemingly doing the inventory process, you're being convinced that self manifested in various ways is what has defeated you, that the flaws in your makeup weren't yours, the FLAW. They appeared through an infection, let's say, or let's say an inhabitation or an occupation, sort of like a chronic flu, that if you had it every day, you would think that was you, the normalcy of you. Yeah. So remember, the problem resides in the mind. So this is a very tricky thing, because in a subjective experience, you can't weigh things. Yes. It's not like this is a kilo and this is a pound. It's things appear to be true or false to us. Yeah. Based on what the condition of the us is. Yeah. Now, if the condition of the us is identification as self, we get to live out an interpretation of life given by self. Yeah. That's why we seem to be very familiar with each other in AA meetings, because we have been driven by the same driver. Yeah. And as cars, we could get together and talk about what it's like, what it was like being driven by this old driver, with the hopes that we'd recognize the similarity or the singularity of the driver. Yeah. Yeah. So to me, this was a very important turning point in recovery, and whatever comes through us told me to stay here. Yeah. I may want to become a big explorer, but he just says, just keep your eyes on a curb level and check out the dog shit awareness, literally. Yeah. So here I am over and over again. There's great benefits in listening to this power. It is. So, the basis of these talks are about seeing the exact nature of the wrong as foreign to us. Because I don't know about you, but it really worked when I saw it that way. Yeah, it opened up a giant vista, very expansive view that was seemingly curtailed or sort of handcuffed when I was trying to be free as self. Yeah. Unbeknownst to me, I was trying to be free as Paul, but Paul was basically AKA self. Yes. This is why we don't get easily self can't get out of self, because the first self we call Paul. Yeah. And we believe Paul can get out of self because it's not self, but it is. For all intents and purposes, it is self when you're bound to this active alcoholism. So we run into the confusing condition of self can't get out of self, and we sort of blame Paul, yeah, or Mickey or Kathleen, yeah, because we assume we can definitely get out of this, yeah, but you can't get out of it as it. Yeah, and this is how it captures you. And then the drive to get out of it is the bigger in. Yeah, truly. Because every time you try to get out, you reinforce that you're in. You don't see this, but this is how the mental logic works. Yeah. The mental logic gives a lot of reality to what it's trying to get out of. While trying to get out of it, it really makes an in real. Yeah. There's nothing you need to do about it. Just see it. Yeah. Just see it. And lend your eyes to the power that you've turned the will and life over to the care of, and let those eyes lead you to see things anew. Yeah. And then we arrive at a new freedom and a new happiness, a new attitude, a new outlook. We're on a new basis. It's new, 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 new. Like when you see a new car, all they did is change like the lights. Yeah. It's never really new. The chassis is the same. The motor's the same, but it looks new. Yeah. But in this case, it is new. A new attitude, a new outlook, a new happiness, and a new freedom. That's awesome. I mean, really, if you're in a society like ours, what's fucking new? They make songs like in a fucking mill. There's thousands of them with a turn, 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 burn, 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 go, 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 stay, stay, stay. It's just, it's the same. But here we're going to actually know something new. Fantastic. So this is how it came about with me. I had the privilege of doing four-step workshops in San Francisco primarily, and trucked around the world really. And so I was reading how it works quite a lot. And the description, the chapter is very descriptive how it works. There it is. So page 64, when you're doing an inventory, let's say seminar or something, is where it starts. Yeah. And it's interesting that they try to present it as a business inventory, because obviously with the addiction, we're just drenched with personalness. Yeah. like a terminal unique personalist. So they made it seem like let's drop that and just look at it as a business inventory and what's working and what ain't working. And the beautiful thing I saw was don't think you're the owner of the business because that's going to give you a lot of blind spots. Just you're a manager of the store. So you can really have a fearless and thorough inventory of the stock in trade because they're not yours. Yeah. They're the guy who owns the store or the woman. So I can be brutally honest, but the owner can't be because she or he would lose face. Why did he buy 500 Elephant Bell pants? And none of them have been sold in 3 months. I mean, his pride is probably a little hurt about it, and he'd rather just bypass those 500 pants and get on to some other inventory. Yeah. But so take it like a business inventory. Yeah. And we're going to look like the aisle in our business is going to be in our makeup. We're going to look at our makeup and the flaws in our makeup. Yeah. And to see are the flaws ours, FLAWS, not FLOOR, the flaws in our makeup. Now, we believe they must be ours if they're in our makeup, but I humbly believe they're not. I believe they're a foreign installment. And so the flaws in our makeup aren't produced by us. Yeah, they're endured by us. We try to deal with them, we try to manage them, but they're actually given to us by that which has taken us over, which is this parasitical movement called alcoholism. Yeah, really, it's just extreme self-centeredness. Yeah, really, exact extreme self-centeredness. We're not much, but we're all that we think about. It's a strange dichotomy. So being convinced self manifested in various ways. And so some people like to say ego, but no, let's say self is the rope and ego is a knot in the rope. Yeah. The knot in the rope, yeah, is not the exact nature of the wrong. The wrong is the rope. Yeah. The sense of self is the rope. Then there's an egoistic idea, which is a knot in the rope, a KNOT. Yeah. And a lot of people get absorbed in that knot, and it's sort of like they miss the forest from the trees. They miss the rope from the knot. So they want to get that knot loosened, but it's the rope that's hanging them, really. Yes? It's the rope that's hanging them. So this is about getting to the exact nature of the wrong. And how do we get there? By seeing it, not seeing with the eyes, but the awareness, yeah? Awareness is another kind of seeing. It's not through the eyes, but there's a seeing and a knowing that you don't have to touch, feel, taste, smell, yeah, and see. There's a knowing, there's an awareness. It has its own system in a sense, yeah. So what we're attempting, what I feel the program of recovery does, is we recover our sight, yes, our sight, not the eyes, but the awareness. We sort of recover because it has been it's now an unsuspected resource, and now it's being brought to the fore, the FORE. It's coming up, it's emphasizing. So we learn about that which has defeated us, yeah, and we become aware of patterns that we used to only realize after they hit us in the face. We can start seeing them instead of having to buy the best new raincoat because you're always going to get caught in the rain. We're going to get a diagnosis before the rain starts. Yeah. It's cool to have a good raincoat, but maybe you could just avoid the rain, so to speak. Yeah. So this is why we go to the exact natures and we actually bypass the drink problem, as it says here. Yeah. Let's move on from the drink problem right now and let's look at the underlying conditions. And to me, the deepest underlying condition is the head's act of being identified as self and me living as if I'm the head's self. Yeah. it didn't work. I had an underlying irritable restlessness and discontent that caused me to look, and my look, the way I looked, it was really a form of blindness. Yeah. So my first solution to the discomfort of alcoholism was to drink. Yeah. Found it out around 12 years old, and it brought me relief from alcoholism. But it also brought a lot of people in uniform in my life. Yeah. I had a magnetic appeal to people in uniform as soon as I started drinking. So when I took what I called my medicine, it caused an uproar. Yeah. And it was very confusing, but I wasn't letting go. I was What happened with me, the alcoholic of my type was I was willing to pay any consequence tomorrow not to feel uncomfortable now. Yeah. I knew better. Pretty early on, I knew better. It didn't matter. Yeah. The imperative was to get relief from this discomfort. Yeah. Unfortunately, my solution wasn't a solution. Yeah. It amplified the problem to an incredible extent. Yeah. So when I saw, because I had been, this ass had been run over more than twice by the car of self. I mean, I had been dragged. Yeah. Getting run over by a real car, this body twice was nothing like being dragged by the car of self. Nothing. At least there was hope that I could get better. In that being dragged by that car of self, I had become hopeless, basically. Yeah. I had tried everything. I went to a program for 2 years. Yeah, I did everything what they said, never acted out. I did one little cheesy thing, but it had nothing to do with drinking and using. They would give us money when we worked out to get a lunch, and I would save that money. And I'd take a sandwich from the facility, and I wouldn't buy lunch, but I would go to a friend's place, and he would give me a receipt for a hamburger, which I had never bought. So I cashed in the money. I saved the money. So when I had a free weekend, I could have something to spend. Yeah. That was my that was my greatest sin of the 2 years in the program. That was it. No drinking, no using, nothing. And I thrived in that institutional setting. Yeah. But it was weird being in that program after about a year or something. I realized the problem was narcotics, obviously. But I made a little amendment that I could drink. Yeah. Now I didn't run it by anyone in the program. It just got filed away. And as I stayed in the program, about a year and a half into it, I had an option at 2 years to leave or up for 5 more years, and I made the option to leave. And one of the reasons why I did is I started to ask these people that had lived there for 30 years. I felt there was something I needed that wasn't available in Delancey Street. I found out later it was recovery, it was AA. But at that point, I didn't know. But that made the decision easier to leave because I wasn't going to get what I truly needed there. Wasn't its fault. It just wasn't readily available. And then life finally took me to AA, which is awesome. Yeah. So whatever. Back to the thing. Uh, Living under that tyranny, it was hard not to learn a lot of stuff. It couldn't be put to use. I needed recovery for that. But I had knowledge that I was fucked. And I had knowledge that I could turn my life over to a dog catcher and it would look better with me than with me running it, you know? Actually, I could pick a stranger out on the street and they would do a better job with my life than the head ever did. Because I had a 2 year experiment in Delancey Street. I didn't like them. I didn't like what they did. But I had to admit, begrudgingly, my life looked better with them running it than it ever did with me running it. So I was very clear about that. I just needed something, and it was grace. Yeah, in this case. And I got struck sober. I had no idea it was coming. I had no fucking idea. I had been put to a point of demoralization where I just wanted to stay somewhat loaded until I went to the next jail or institution or death. Yeah. It was that I had accepted that role. Yeah. And of course, you're frustrated because you have no money and you've got to convince others to do what you want. And that I wasn't doing that well with that. And I was super fucking pissed and angry, really. And something just intervened in my life and changed it, gave it a whole new direction. Yeah. But it couldn't have just been a miracle. It had to have a miracle and a way to extend the miracle, and that was the way of life of recovery. Yeah, I got whacked that night. I was at an AA meeting, a men's meeting, and that began my new life of 37 years. Yeah. And then that urge to get loaded and to drink and to escape and to do whatever it was removed, mind-boggling, and has never come back in force for 37 years, be it thought or feeling. Not one thought or feeling has had enough oomph to move my head, in a sense, 1 degree, really. Now, obviously, it was super clear that I, as a human power, could not do that, nor any other human power could not do it, because the state had been trying to do it, my mother had been trying to do it, I'd been trying to do it, the hospital had been trying to do it, nothing could do it. Yet something did it. Yeah. Now that's something I can't introduce it to you. Yeah. But it's the most intimate influence that I've met here. Yeah. You can't see it, really taste it or touch it, but you sense it. It's this, to me, it's the sense of what we call spirit. Yeah. And the solution of our program is a spiritual solution. So being convinced self manifested in various ways is what has defeated us. I believe, knowing it or not, they just described the exact nature of the wrong. Yeah. And they also gave us the incredibly important distinction when they said self and us in the same sentence. Yeah. I find it very difficult to believe that self and us mean the same thing in the one sentence. Yeah. I've had great uh, knowers of the book try to argue with me. And I grew up in it with English. And to me, being convinced that self, that's one thing, manifested in various ways, that's the act of that one thing, has defeated us, and us is another thing. I do not see that self and us are the same thing. I don't. And therefore, I am the defeated, but not the defeater. And I feel this is lost in our community quite a lot, where we take ourselves to be the defeated, which is the beginning of a new possibility, but we have the same old idea of the defeater, which is us. Yes? It's not working, is it? Yeah. You can have, let's say, a Lamborghini and you can drive it to the store, but then there's driving it to the store when it's fucking the carburetor is calibrated and it's running smoothly. It's such a high level thing. You can't, it has to be tuned up better. Yeah. And I believe we need to be tuned up better. Yeah. We, our bandwidth has been opened, but we're receiving the same old news. Yeah. And being the same old person that thinks it's hearing the news. I feel that is after the drinking and all the chaos and the cleaning up of the life, putting that aside, I believe this is the most important aspect, that that which is identified as self is not you. It's like Hal in 2001. The head has become identified as self, and it has its own agenda that it's really not telling us about. Yeah. And it's using our fuel to sort of drive its agenda. It's sort of like, does the host need the parasite, or does the parasite needs the host? I think the parasite needs the host. Yeah, that's usually the relationship between parasite and host. Yeah, it's the parasite needs the host to be able to do something you can't do as a parasite. Yeah, so the parasite needs us for transportation, really. And so it gives us an interpretation of life, doesn't give us any possibility of any other possibility, and then it drives us with that interpretation. And for some of us, it's super uncomfortable. So we try to get some relief by getting loaded, and then we go down even a more hellish road. Yes? I do not believe our instinct that something was fucking with us was off. I believe that was on. The reaction to it is off. Yes? Yeah. So it dawned here. I was in a community, and I've just been moved to present it ever since. Yeah. Has it gone well for my career? Probably not, in a lot of ways. I could have been a circuit speaker, like in On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando in the cab. I could have been a contender. But I'm happy as hell I've been used, and I continue to be used, because I find the greatest value as an action figure in being used. Yeah, I do. I've tried a lot of other stuff, but being used seems to fit this handle the best. Yeah. Yeah. So here we are, trying to let's get clear about it. The exact nature of the wrong is foreign to us, which opens up a possibility of what? Being free from it. What an incredible possibility. The door is wide open. You're looking right at it, but you keep seeing a door. Yeah, but it's wide open. Yeah, because the eyes that you're seeing this world have been infected with the alcoholism, and the parasite does not want you to see a lot of stuff. It doesn't. It wants to direct what you see and how you see it. It does. It's very select in what it's downloading to us. And it's downloading what will support and reinforce this identification as self. Yeah. I don't have any interest in trying to change that. I just want to tell the truth about it. And the first part of the truth is it's not me. And that really changes everything else after that. All the other aspects of the truth really are changed by seeing it's not me. So this is why I'm here every week, I think. Maybe it's to see all your lovely faces, probably. That's also an added benefit. But just to keep on pounding away. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're called for, obviously something brought you here. Then yeah, here you go. Maybe this is the something that brought you here, is to have maybe this will work for you. Yeah, there is not one size fits all here in a subjective experience. Yeah, I'm not saying you you can't arrive at where you already are through some other mechanism. I'm saying this is the one it happened with me. Yeah, this is the community that I've grown up in. Recovery. And so this is the way we see the problem. So in these meetings, we talk about the problem in this way. And it's a dualistic solution and problem. And it says perhaps there's a better way, and it describes the worst way. Yeah. And one of it is either you're trusting finite self or you're trusting the infinite. You represent trust in this equation. Yeah. You want to have some samples of what it's like to trust an unreliable system? Look at your own life, and where did the thoughts lead you? Where did the thoughts in your head lead you over and over and over again? Yeah. We don't need to learn anything more about that. We just have to realize it's not us. And then you're going to find out what it's like to be free from the bondage of self. Yeah. And it's like, you've been squeezing a four-finger glove. It doesn't work. Now you get something that fits and brings out the best in you. Yeah. So this was so profoundly aligned or appropriate. I've never gotten over it of all these years. I have never not seen self as foreign to me since this happened. Yeah. And I really feel it's given my breath can go deeper, just you can chill more. It's such a disarming. The war is over. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And while you're busy using everything, I think the greatest quality is to be used by the higher power. Yeah. Yes. I'm not trying to be a hammer. Yeah. I'm waiting for the hand to pick me up. Yeah. I'm not trying to be a hammer all day. I'm not. Yeah. You're a hammer and you wait for the hand of life to pick you up and it's going to use you and you'll find that you have a seed assignment. Yeah. And in that seed assignment, there's uh, fulfillment. Yes. Fulfillment comes with gratitude and honor also, but a fulfillment. You have a purpose for this little time and space event, and the action figure does well with a purpose. It does. Yeah. Nihilism and shit doesn't really work for the action figure that well. Yeah. You're meant to be used. You've been used by the lower power. Hopefully, we're now being used by a higher power. But your purpose here is to be used. Yeah. It says you're going to have a new employer and you had an old employer. What does employ mean? It means to use. Yeah. So you and I are meant to be used as an action figure. The head can be using you or the spirit, one or the other. That's the option in AA. And it's based on the faith, where the faith is put in. Yeah. We have now put in faith into the spirit of the higher power of recovery. Yeah. And we've been weaned off the faith in the finite self. And our experience, living experience, is lighter. Yeah. Unbelievably lighter, actually. What more do you want, really? Then, yeah. Hmm. So yeah, that's the point I feel. And I don't know what we were reading. It's on page 50.
You
If someone
talk.
wants to share, I'll just riff on this. Here are thousands of men and women, worldly indeed. They flatly declare that since they have come to believe in a power greater than themselves, you don't have to give it a name. It's just a power greater than self. You can have it very, very, yeah, yeah. Now, this doesn't say millions. Yeah. People find other ways, but I feel this way has found us. Yeah. And then it's sort of tailor-made for the situation. Yeah. Have you known people that hate AA, but they always end up back in AA? What a sort of drag. Yeah. They have a calling. The only thing that's actually going to work is AA, and then their head has them in opposition to that and keeps telling them they hate AA. Yeah. Just fucking surrender these old ideas. Yeah. All right. So they have flatly declared that since they have come to believe in a power greater than themselves, to take a certain attitude toward that power. What's that attitude? Yeah. And to do certain, it describes, the third step describes it, he's going to be the director or whatever. Yes. Yeah. uh, and to do certain simple things. That, well, the first is stay sober, right? Don't start drinking. Yeah. There has been a revolutionary change in their way of being and thinking. In the face of collapse and despair, in the face of the total failure of their human resources, they found that a new power, peace, happiness, and sense of direction flowed into them. They didn't get it. It flowed into them. Yeah. The days of you getting and doing and having and losing are over. You are going to be placed in a position of neutrality. You're going to be brought to these circumstances. Yes, you have now found the clear direction, which is, yes, you're going to be brought, you're going to be dropped into a condition of neutrality with no thought or effort on your part. You did not do anything to get there. You did this simple program, and something through the program has brought you there. Yeah. That's the attitude I feel of the program. I don't believe the program becomes a self-help program. I don't. I believe it's just admitting and being convinced you're not managerial quality and let something else manage. Yeah. And then look at the results. Are you in argument with them? Then go find a new management team. But I have no qualms or regrets about how I have been managed by this new program. Yeah, I haven't. I can't believe it, actually. So the trust, which makes everything go, has been moved from the trust in finite self to the trust in the infinite. That's it. I couldn't do it. My mom couldn't do it. State couldn't do it. Sitting on a meditation cushion can't do it. Something did it. Yeah. Some power moved me. Yeah. Yes. And it still is. Yeah. All of us. Yeah. So they found that a new power, peace, happiness, and sense of direction. Yeah, there's the purpose. Flowed into them. This happened soon after they wholeheartedly met a few simple requirements. Once confused and baffled by the seeming futility of existence, they show the underlying reasons why they were making heavy go of life. Yes, they were at the effects of having trust in the finite self. Yeah. To such a point, it turned into abject trust, which was spiritless servility. Yeah. They became enslaved to finite self. Wow. So they show the underlying reasons why they were making heavy going of life. Leaving aside the drink question, they tell why living was so unsatisfactory. They show how the change came over them. When many hundreds of people are able to say that the consciousness of the presence, let's forget God, just say consciousness of the presence, yeah? When many hundreds of people are able, see, they could do it, but now they're able to do it, yeah? Yes. Are able to say that the consciousness of the presence is today the most important fact of their lives, they present a powerful reason why one should have faith. Yes. What a beautiful paragraph. Yeah. Their trust is now in the consciousness of the presence of a power greater than self. Yeah. You want to name it? Name it. Don't name it. You don't need to know it by name. Yeah. Mm. So, yeah,
Nice, Paul.
this
That was
stokes
good.
me up unbelievably, really.
Yeah, that's great. Can I any hands? Anybody got anything they want to? Yeah, Mickey, is that you? Yeah, Mickey.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Oh, I thought Mickey was going to jump in.
Oh, Mickey, come on in, Mickey.
Well, what I was going to say was when you were
There,
talking.
now it
Yeah,
allowed me to unmute.
go
You
for it.
know, an amazing thing is that, and I've heard it said that Bill Wilson was such a visionary. The amazing thing is he's talking about here are thousands of men and women worldly. He's talking about this when this was written.
Yeah.
There were less than 100,
Yes.
and here it's being carried into the vision of what we have today.
Yes.
And it worked for them then. They couldn't identify it,
Yes.
and here we are. And in a vision for you, it indicates that more shall be revealed. And here we're talking about what's revealed to us today, right here.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. It's like one long action.
You got it.
Yeah. Where you can't say where it started or stopped. It just keeps on.
Well, it doesn't. It just is.
Yeah. Yes. And people are going to come after and they're going to add on to it
You bet.
because the purpose continues. The same purpose they had in 35 is the same purpose now. Yeah. Making available a way to get out of something that can produce a hopelessness in you. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Paul, you pointed out the concept of being used.
Yeah.
And I heard it once presented that most of us pray, God help me or God give me. And this individual said we should be saying, God use me. And so
Well, that's also a given. It is. It's a
sure.
fact. You're being used. It's not like, yeah, it's just what or how you're being used is the difference. Yeah.
And this is our whole principle of service.
In this, yes. And the thing is, here we are like cars. We're going to be driven, but
Mm-hmm.
how we're treated while being driven isn't based on the car. That's based on the driver. So we have an option of two drivers, the lower power and the higher power. Yeah, we've been driven a lot by the one. We should know what it's like. Yeah. And now we have some samples of being driven by the other, and let's go with the other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to be driven or you're going to be used. Yeah.
Exactly.
You are,
Exactly.
you are not cooking up thoughts. You're not. You don't have a little thought pot that you cook up thoughts and then you have them. No. You're getting information downloaded all the fucking time. Which one are you going to take? Which one's going to move you? Because yes, there's different broadcasts going on. Yeah. Self has a broadcast. Yeah, and it likes to get you as and present you as its only listener, but it's really a franchise called Unclear Channel. Yeah, and
Stab.
You're also going to feel and downloads are going to occur. You're not like, oh, I want to be a download. You're just something, you're more open than you think. Yeah. Stuff is coming in and out a lot. And it really matters what's watching that flow and what's picking what should be looked at, really. And we've had one up to here, and now we're living the life of the other, of being driven by the infinite instead of being driven by the finite self. Yeah. Now I humbly believe the finite self, how it really drives us is we're not seeing the act of being identified, we're living the act of being identified. Yeah. Yeah. And then when we see the act of being identified, we think we're doing it. I do not see that. I believe the head is in the act of being identified as self. I believe we go with that. Yeah. And then we're directed by it. I do not believe you're enslaved to that only possibility. I believe you can see you're not that. I do. Yeah. Because I've had the experience of it. Yeah. Yes. So again, we're drenched in this idea of being a doer when we're really driven to do. Yeah. And that's why we harp on page 53 in the We Agnostics, where it talks about wherever you are, faith had a whole lot to do with it. So you were moved to where you find out. It's the way they picked the language well. Yeah. When here it goes, I'll read it. Without knowing it, had we not been brought to where we stood by a certain kind of faith. Page 53, the bottom of it. Question mark. That's an insane statement. Super unbelievable statement. Let us think a little more without knowing it. So that's one of the conditions in recovery is being convinced. A condition of the addiction is without knowing it. Yeah. It's necessary for the parasite to have you in a condition of not knowing it. Yeah. Yes. So here it goes. Without knowing it, had we not been brought to where we stood by a certain kind of faith. You got to feel the flavor of that. Brought to where you stood. You were brought. You didn't walk. You didn't run. You didn't effort. You were brought. In other words, you're being blown. Yeah. You have a story that there's an engine, but there's no engine on your boat. It's the wind that's moving you. Yes. So here, without knowing it, have we not been brought to where we stood by a certain kind of faith? For did we not believe in our own reasoning? There you go. This is a life of trusting the finite self. And the way they're sharing as perhaps the better way is trusting the infinite. So in this example, trust is what we are. Yeah. Faith is what we are. So it says, did we not have confidence in our ability to think? What was that but a sort of faith? Yes, we had been faithful, abjectly faithful to the God of reason. Abjectly, as been told to us by Kathy, is spiritless servility. Isn't that incredible? The faith that you are is producing a spiritual civility when given to the head. That's the consequence of faith that we are given to the finite self is spiritless servility. And the solution is spirit. Spiritless servility. To me, that's up there with the incomprehensible, pitiful demoralization. Yeah. So he goes, what was that but a sort of faith? Yes, we had been faithful, abjectly faithful to the God of reason. The problem resides in the mind, the head, small mind. Yes? Call it God, call it the God of reason, call it self. Yes? Yeah. So, in one way or another, in other words, always, yeah. So, in one way or another, we discovered, yeah, we didn't make, yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't there before, but we discover it, yeah. We discovered that faith had been involved all the time. Have you discovered that? Have you discovered right now that faith had been involved all the time? So look around and see where's the faith. And it'll probably explain where you seem to be. Yeah. Just look around. What the fuck, what station are you listening to? And then look at all the products that you bought from that station. Yeah. There you go. Faith is going to manifest. Manifest means appear, yes? Come to be in this event. Manifest by the vehicle it's put in. AA has two vehicles: finite self, infinite. That's it. Yeah, pretty different. Not, you can't get lost in all the models. It's just two basic cars. Yeah, two drivers for all the cars, basically. We're not looking at the cars. There can be thousands of new models of cars, but there's the same old fucking driver. Yeah, I see it all the time. When I go back east to the rehab, these guys who I saw were super crystal meth people. They're super skinny. Now they're all buffed and everything else. Yes, the model looks different, but it has the same fucking driver, maybe. Yeah, what we have to look at is who or what's driving the bus. It's not you. You are more of the bus. Yeah. Yes. And lean to one or the other. And watch the head. It always leans to the other. Yeah. So don't try to convince the head to lean the other way. Just see you're not the head. Yeah. The faith has been in the head. You're not of the head. Yeah. It could be moved. Yeah. The faith could go somewhere else. And what better, this recovery produces goods. It works. Yeah. It's going to galvanize if you take it a day at a time and the essential thing is not to drink or use. It's going to galvanize. Yeah. You're going to be so assured that you're on the right path by the demonstration of the path you're on. Yeah. I haven't drank in 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Yes. That was impossible 9 weeks ago. Yeah. So, and even if you only stop one day, it's proved the principle. If you can stop one day, you can stop for every day. Yes. Just because you went back out doesn't mean it doesn't work. Yeah, it worked perfectly for that one day. And if applied, it would work for every day. Yeah. Perhaps for us, if you cross that line, this is the only way. Yeah. It's not a luxury to do service, though it is. You have to do it because you're in a condition that the head has the interest and attention orbiting it all day. Yes. And something that works to bring out the attention from that orbit is service. Yeah. Yeah. These things are essential because if you don't know any better, you're going to keep being in a state of without knowing it. Yeah. If you don't know any better, it's going to keep producing without knowing it. Yes? Yes. I'm stoked because the relief is. Hmm.
Hey, Paul, we had a hand up. Chris, did you want to jump in?
I guess so. I know it's a little bit late. I just happened to be reading that same page that Paul ended up quoting from. And I don't exactly know what this question is, but like Paul, when you first read the part that said once confused and baffled by the seeming futility of existence,
Yes.
yeah, I noticed you were smiling and laughing, which is great.
That's the quandary of the faith in self.
But that's what I wake up a lot of days feeling that overwhelmingly, and I don't understand how to get to the point where I could laugh at, you know, look at that and see it the way you do, I guess.
Well, you can't get to that point, but you can be brought there. Remember the spirit of what we're speaking of. There's an admittance I cannot get to that point I would like to be. And in that admission and that openness, you will be brought there. Yes? This
Okay.
is not about getting anywhere. It's about admitting I can't get anywhere. And then you're brought to places, you're brought to conditions, you're brought to miracles, you're brought to opportunities. And sometimes it goes quickly and sometimes slowly, but it's always going to materialize. And to me, it says work for them, but I don't believe it's heavy work if I'm going to be lifted. I don't. And I truly believe my whole life from as an action figure is based on being totally convinced that no human power could do it. I lived that. I lived it. I could not fucking stop doing shit. Yeah. And the worst bottom got worse. It just kept on keeping on. Yet something struck me sober. Yeah.
I
That
have had,
That's the molecule of faith that is the atom of my world. All my atoms of this world is from that molecule of faith that it was demonstrated something could do for me what I could not do for myself, nor my mother or the state or anyone. Now, to me, that's beyond demonstration at this point. Yeah, it was that is the well I go to all day. Yeah.
I have had the experience like you of finding that like living in an institution that, like you said, like a potted plant could probably run my life better than I could. And that was like 5 years ago. So it's been quite a while where I've really realized like, yeah, I'm not managerial quality, as you put it. Um, but it's not realizing that something else is is better at that. It's more just realizing that I am not capable of it.
Well, that's how it starts. And this is quickly and slowly. There's no, but it always materializes. This is the promise that's offered, but it can be slow or quickly. Now, you have certain tendencies I don't have, so I move out of certain things quicker than you do. I have certain tendencies you don't have, and you move out of those things quicker than I would. Yes? This is how it goes.
Well, I move out of everything slowly, so
Well, then you'll be able to really pause and look at what's going on. Yeah. Everything, whatever condition or state you seem to be in, has value. It does. I have seen, like it says, no matter how far down the scale you have fallen, you will realize that your experiences are going to be put to good use in helping others. I believe before I value everything, so let's see what there's something else that can bring value to things I cannot see any value in. I swear.
helping others is the only thing that works for me now because at some point over this last 5 years, my all of my own like plans and goals and things just like evaporated from being anything that I like. It's just like It's like dust blowing away. Like there's nothing there. So I'm sitting here doing my, CEO job, and I get a message from like our cleaner's friend's daughter, who's an artist, and she needs help with something, and I just drop everything. Like I gotta go help her. I've never even met her, but she's like art saved me. She said she has some serious medical problems, so she's in the hospital all the time. I gave her an iPad to draw on. They're always afraid to bother me, and it's like as soon as someone else needs help, I just immediately drop everything, and I feel a huge sense of just purpose. I don't want thanks for it. I don't want acknowledgement. I just immediately everything feels like it's in the right place, and then when that's not there, nothing seems to really matter.
Well, when things are taken away, there may be clearing out the space for new things to be put in. Yes.
I think so.
Because our head runs like a race in time. The way other things move, time is not the essential nature of it. Yes.
Mm,
A lot of times in recovery, you'll get an answer for something that's going to happen a year or two later.
Yep.
It's just the way it goes. And then you have the joy of recognizing that delivery because you've been awake for that year or two. Yeah. You haven't fucking acted out and shit. So you see, wow, sometimes a solution downloads to a future situation. Yeah.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah. So remember, if sometimes if something new is going to be put in somewhere, the old has to go. Yeah.
yeah, I see what you mean by that.
Trust the process. That's what we say. Don't leave before the miracles. Trust the process. Because the head wants to tell you you're looking at the stone and the artist of life is going to get something out of it. Your head is thinking, oh, it's only a fucking stone. It can't see what can be brought out of that stone. It can't. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just a limited, failed system.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And keep trying to see, I keep trying to see through that brownie camera and thinking I'm going to
Yeah.
see something through that.
Just realize that's not you. It's just a head going to the same old well, and it's going to keep going to the well. Yeah. Unfortunately, what it does, it takes some of the water of your life and throws it into the well so it can be right that there's water in the well. Yeah. Yeah. In this case, you just, I see the head's activity uh, as the head's activity. I don't see them as mine. Yeah. I just went with someone who I care a lot about to an important event for her. Now, the head had many, many selfish thoughts when I was there. Like, I don't want to fucking be here, this and that. Thank God I don't try to, I'm not called to combat that or change it. I just see it as not me. And where I am is there supporting the person. Doesn't matter. The head doesn't fucking matter. It matters a lot when you think you're the head, but it doesn't matter much when you're not. Yeah. What matters is what you're doing there. And I'm available to her and, and being there. That's all. What the head thinks it's doing has nothing to do with me. Yeah. I'm being used. Yeah. Yeah. This is sort of once you get a flavor of this, I believe it's going to carry you through because I believe it's true. I do not believe what's talking to you is you talking to you. I don't. I do not. I believe you came with a voiceover system, and the voiceover system's gotten a little too, it's taken over the whole act, so to speak. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. What will happen is you won't even care after a while if it materializes or not. You don't. Yeah. Those things that you thought were thicking out thumbs have to be taken out. No, they don't. No. Yeah. I'm not firing on all cylinders. That doesn't matter. All this shit. Yeah. Yeah.
I get lots of taste of that. and it's just I don't know why some days.
Stop there. You get lots of taste for that. Now let what you tasted fill in the rest.
Okay.
Why would you want the head to fill in the rest about what you tasted? Let that which you tasted fill in the rest. You see, this is
Yeah.
what happens. We're living, and then the head, as the tour guide, stops and tells us how we're fucking living. Just keep living.
Well, with me, I know you've made kind of a reference to this kind of thing before, but it's like one bad day or whatever. Immediately, it's like, oh, that's the truth. That's it. So everything,
You must be bored by it now. I mean, obviously.
I am bored by it.
Yeah, you're bored
I
by
am
it.
really.
Just don't even. Uh, what happens when there's a loss of interest? The square of the zoom that your head is occupying shrinks, unbeknownst to the head, and then the head keeps on talking, but it's muted. It's muted. It's got its little virtual hand up, and it's no one's responding.
I know
Yeah.
that feeling.
Yes. Well,
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Paul.
there's a great space around that. Yeah. Yeah.
I also just need to say that Mickey looks radiant today. I don't know what's going on there. Mickey is shining like a light.
That's right. She's our eternal greeter. Yes.
I really appreciate your taking the time to talk with me, Paul.
It's knowledge of self has value, great value. Not to self. Yeah. Knowledge of self is great value. Self-knowledge avails you nothing. Knowledge of self has great value. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Find out the difference of that statement. Yeah, just find it out. You'll see. Yep. All right. Hey, I think that's it for the day. But it ain't. We'll hear again at 4:30 Pacific time today. Yes. Yeah. Where and 4:30 there's the topic there is no solution. This is there is a solution, and then 4:30 there's no solution. Why? There's no problem. What? Yeah. But let's get too cryptic at the moment. Yeah. We're in the gutter right now. Zen bitch slap. Dog shit awareness. Mickey, as always. Natalie. Nice to see you, Natalie. Yep. Michael Stacy, my main man. Sean in NorCal. Joseph, our friend in France. Nice to see you, Joseph. You're downstairs today, eh? Yep, yeah. Roxanne, wow, you're making this a habit, Roxanne. Wow, okay. It's for our benefit. That's nice. Stephen Mack. Chris, as always, bro. Yeah. John B. in the UK. Nice to see you, John. Stephanie F. Always a pleasure, Stephanie. Alex, yes. Miak, yes, yes. Betty, yes, yes, yes. Vlad, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Vlad's taking a nice nap. I think he went to sleep. Fantastic. Walter, Paula, John A. Nice to meet you, John, I think. I've seen you before. Roman Mueller, yeah. My man in Germany. John in Florida. Kate P. She's looking comfortable there. Maggie Powell, yes. Robert Crossman, sticking with us, bro. That's good. Yes. Martin, he's the captain of the SS and Bitchla. Saraswati, wow, she's the tour guide. Yes. Oh, I can go to another page. That's cool. Oliver, Berlin. Oliver's been with us since the beginning of the Zooms here. So we got everyone. Robert, Martin. Paula. Nice to see Paula there. Uh, I think that's it. I think I got everyone. Well, thank you everyone for We all are part of what provides the space. Yes, it's very nice. That space where a loving power can express itself through. Yeah, yeah. All right, see you. Tomas, I miss Tomas, my friend in Poland, Tomas. I don't know about Europe this year. I don't know. It's Amelia's gotten a regular job, so to speak. She's sort of fond of this lady she's taking care of. So that may hamper. But if we are, it will be in middle September. Yeah. Early September, we have people coming here. Yeah, everyone, thank you so much. If we're even here for September, you never know. Let's just make it till 4:30.
Paul, hey, Paul,
Yeah.
did you say that you had attended Clancy's group for a while?
No,
Okay, I misheard you.
I was
I
only at
just,
one time did I go to that Pacific thing,
yeah.
1,200 people.
I keep thinking that you look so familiar, and I was thinking that maybe I knew you from Amma, because you're in Northern California, and Amma Chi has a big ashram up there, and
No,
but then I thought maybe that was it. Okay. Thank you.
just like they say, there's only six faces from Ireland. They only make
Okay.
six faces. So
Yes. This is my background is Ireland. That's Blackrock, County Dublin, Ireland. My mom's from there.
in Ireland now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You may have seen me, and I was in Dublin a lot.
Yeah. That was it. Our paths crossed there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in Dublin. I was going there for a few years before the pandemic thing. Yeah. Yeah, my family's from there, so
Yeah.
a whole long story. My family were ferrymen. Yeah, this guy I met in my family knows the history. And you know what? God gave them a promise. What that promise was, they wouldn't die by drowning. That was it.
Okay.
It paid off for me because I've been injured sufficiently in the water, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to die by drowning. See me. That's good. I can take that off the board. So, all right, nice to see you, Natalie.
Good to see you.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.